he will work the point, never really giving the same shot twice. Definitely wants to test the water and see what his opponent is comfortable with before really locking in and just putting a lot of pressure on the weak side of the table.
That Professor Wang played in doubles earlier with Koyo Kanemitsu. They won 2 of 3 against Liang and Shu.
Yeah, he did an excellent job, and that's not easy considering 2 right-handed players, which means more footwork in the open serve doubles era that we have now entered. But Wu, a lot of power. We saw him play earlier in the season. Quick, fast hands, fast feet. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for the Professor because he's going to have to bring some offense. He cannot just play off of the quick returns that he does against a lot of the top US players. The international field of MLTT, everyone has firepower.
In singles, Wu 1 game won this year, 2 games lost. So he's 1 and 2 on the year.
And there's a beautiful misdirection by Jinxin Wang. Just takes his time, looks at where the opponent is, and you could just see Wu completely flummoxed to where he was going with this down the line forehand. He starts out to the forehand side. Professor's already found the weakness. Oh, and Professor gets an edge ball back. Oh, this is amazing.
A stunning counterattack for Wu after a wave of well-orchestrated forehand loops.
And Wu just stayed with that point 1 shot longer and just bringing constant offense. I would say, Brian, that best way to play against the Professor, keep him on his heels. Don't allow him to operate. Just give him topspin, topspin, topspin. That ball hit his body. Wu again, just being very strong from each side, both backhand attacks and forehand attacks off of his own serve. Wow, but the Professor, hand speed, using his opponent's power is one of his big strengths. And now the Professor, you can see forcing the action, trying to create some offense where it really doesn't exist. And Wu, holy cow. Look at that forehand. I mean, just so decisive, so relaxed, and just so quick off the bounce.
Another great display of the hand speed from Wu, who was running away with things in this first game.
No one is happier than Coach Adam Hugh of the Slice. This 4th singles is going to determine, with both teams at 6-6, who's going to go into the golden game with the lead.
11-4, 1 game to 0.
Serving to start this second game is Wang, who dropped the first game 11-4 against Wu. What did you like about Wu overall from his output in the first?
You know, I think it was really directly off the serve, and we saw it on that point again, opening up the first ball, not really playing with position, but going offensive to the corners, really taking the Professor's short game out of the match. Professor's long arms, great touch, able to allow him to play short to the backhand, short to the middle. There's a little drop there. Professor steals the point. That's what he does so well because he takes pace off of your serve, makes you start from scratch.
Half long off the serve, playing that short game as you talked about, using that Wu to his benefit. Wang's response, though, how does he sort of sink his teeth into rallies and be more of the imposing presence?
I think he just has to make a more conscious effort to get that ball on the short phase of the game, dropping it short over the net on his serve, keeping it short, not giving Wu anything to work with, whereas those balls that come off the deep end of the table, Wu's just jumping on those heavy, heavy topspin. That ball, we call that a half-long shot, really nothing to work with, forces Wu to do all the spinning and the speeding to get that ball moving forward. So change of pace by the Professor. It's kind of righted the ship right now with a 1-point lead.
There's change of pace, there's playing off pace, and there's creating your own pace. Wu erred just a few moments ago because of trying to create his own pace, which is something that players that are very attack-minded get themselves in trouble with.
It really is, especially when the ball is going over the net so fast. You can loop yourself out of position. It's not a matter of just taking big shots. It's playing the right shot to the right location so you have something to work with, because that ball is going to get so fast over the net at this level of play. That's why a player like Koki Niwa is so dangerous. Small guy up at the table, but he redirects the energy so efficiently. And of course, we're going to get to see Koki in the Golden Game coming up as well.
Koki Niwa won 2 of 3 games in 1 singles. If you're just joining us, won the first 2 games against Benedict Ola, who then came back in the 3rd game and got his team on the board.
Yeah, I think, Brian, one of the biggest challenges in MLTT is to sweep. Players are so close in level that when you change tactics from one game to the other, good things happen. So it's very difficult to do that 3-0 run. Benedict did a nice job of keeping it into play, and we've seen that across the board in all of our matches so far, each team getting at least 1 point. But right now it's all slice, and wow, if they could go up 2 point, they could actually, if it could be 9-6, they could have that 3-point lead going into the Golden Game, which is quite sizable.
There's a frustration that I'm seeing from Wang where he doesn't really feel like he can get his tactics employed out there.
Exactly, exactly. And you see him going for some short stuff, but Wu gets that first attack in, and it's just like he holds on to the upper hand, almost like getting your arm stuck behind your back and then just slowly ratcheting it up higher and higher until you have to tap out.
Wu has the upper hand in this 2nd game as he looks to close it out. A lion's share of those points resting off the missed forehand. Copycat of one another, games 1 and 2, both 11-4 over Wang.
Well, that's exactly what Jinxin Wang, the professor, needs to do. Take advantage of the short stuff, get his attacks going, but it has been all Wu so far in this game, where once he gets that first topspin in, he's just relentless in staying with it.
Reaching inside the table, getting the forehand flick to do damage was Wu.
And once again, that first opening, whether it's on the backhand or forehand side, once Wu takes the professor out of the short game, very difficult for the professor to block his opponent down. He's got amazing hand speed, but Wu just relentless with the forehand and backhand topspin attacks.
There's also a cleanliness to Wu's game, and what I mean by that is that he is not coming up with a lot of unforced errors out there.
Exactly. He's taking his time, and when you watch his strokes, they are very short, precise, not a lot of extra motion. Small guy, but wow, does he deliver a lot of power. And right now, Professor just forcing the action. You could even see it in his body language, shaking his head after the last point, realizing as they change ends here in the 3rd game at 5 that things aren't going the way that he had set out, I guess, his lesson plan for the day.
5-3.
And that serve return just popped up way too high. It was short, but when it's about net 6 inches, add another 6 inches to the return. That's going to get put away. Look who's up at the table. Oh, and the Professor gets it to catch the edge and lands it. How did he do that one? This is off of a very strong loop to the forehand here. You can see Wu somewhat disgusted as saying, I just did a great shot and I got passed with an edge ball, where you can really win the battle if for some reason, another great shot by the professor. Great counterattacks. And we, once again, all tied up. That was a great counter loop off the bounce. Again, Professor, much better footwork in the backcourt.
6 all.
Both players dialed in. Slice would love that 3-point lead going into the Golden game. And there's a service winner right down the center of the table. It would get classified as an ace. Jinxin Wang unable to make contact. He thought it was maybe a little bit of a bad bounce. You saw him put his hand on the table to potentially clean it. And wow, 2 quick points for Wu of the Slice. He'd love to take 1 point right now off of Jinxin Wang's serve. Oh, talk about a backhand redirection.
The counter punching is great. He'll absorb and then go right back at you with interest off the backhand.
That's 2 in a row, but Wu able to withstand the kidney punches there. As, look at this. That's a great shot down the line, but Wu glides over and delivers his own counterattack. He's got the serve with the 9-7 lead. He could finish it out.
9-7.
Holding his own from the baseline, soaking up the depth and the power.
Both players delivering world-class shots, but Wu having one more arrow in his quiver just keeps it coming back.
Trending towards a sweep is Wu, which he does. 11-4, 11-4, 11-7. Yiran Wu